Back in San Diego, moments away from the opening kickoff, the Chargers and the Cardinals, who met during the final week of preseason, a game won by Dave McGinnis and the Cardinals 16-3. McGinnis in his first full season as Cardinals head coach, and Mike Riley in his third year as head coach here in San Diego. Full slate of early games in the NFL. 49ers look to raise their record to 8-2, and the Redskins, Tim, have won their 5th in a row.
Well, and that's important for Arizona Cardinal fans because that keeps Philadelphia's wins down to just 6, and if Arizona can win today, then they would only be 2 games out of first place, which is kind of remarkable with a 3-6 record. And then for the San Diego fans, if Kansas City can hang on, that keeps Seattle within striking distance of San Diego.
So the Redskins, who started their season 0-5, are now 5-5, just 1 game behind first place Philadelphia. Chargers have won the toss. Ronnie Jenkins has 2 kick return touchdowns this season. He leads the NFL in kickoff return average. Phil Gramatica, the rookie out of South Florida, will get things started for the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals 45-38 over the Lions last week, while the Chargers lost in Oakland 34-24. Jenkins, the AFC Special Teams Player of the Month for October. Gramatica is set, and we are underway. On one hop, it's Jenkins. Ronnie Jenkins out to the 35-yard line. So good field position
from the 8-yard line
for the Chargers. A 27-yard return. Pat Tillman made the tackle. So Doug Flutie in his first season here in San Diego leads the Chargers offense onto the field. Ranked 19th in the NFL. McIntosh, Roundtree, Jaycox, Graham, and Parker up front. Jeff Graham and Conway, the wideouts. Tomlinson and McCrary in the backfield, and the tight end Steve Hayden starting for the injured Freddie Jones. First and 10 Chargers from the 35. Tomlinson gains 5 yards. Out to the 40, Ronald McKinnon made the tackle, setting up second down and 5. For the Cardinals, defensively, they are ranked 30th. A couple of rookies starting on the ends, Fadafehi and Wakefield, with Tanner and Davis at the tackles. Zach Walls starting for the injured Rob Fredrickson, who is out today. Chavis and Knight, the corners. Tillman and Lassiter, with 7 interceptions, are the safeties. It's Tomlinson again on 2nd and 5. Still on his feet out to the 48-yard line, a gain of 8. Picks up the first down before he was finally brought down by Pat Tillman.
2 important things for the Chargers today because they're going to pound the ball all day long. One is nice blocking up front. Look at the blocking there. So Tomlinson has a nice hole. Fred McCrary has a nice lead block. And then you see the strength that I talked about moments ago that LaDainian Tomlinson possesses. He can run it up the middle.
6th leading rusher in the NFL, 13 yards on his first 2 carries today. Chargers keep it on the ground with Tomlinson, and he crosses midfield. Gain of 2, so it will be 2nd down and 8.
What you're going to see today from San Diego is just consistently pounding the ball. LaDainian Tomlinson is going to be sore and tired after this one if it goes as planned by the Chargers. On the other side of the ball, defensively, the Cardinals are going to be forced to bring their safeties down into the box to play 8-man fronts to shut down the run game.
2nd and 8 from midfield for the Chargers on their opening drive. Flutie passing for the first time. It's Tomlinson out of the backfield, forced out of bounds, and the 48-yard line after a gain of 2. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Fun, wasn't it, yesterday, Kenny, talking to LaDainian Tomlinson, who hasn't caught the ball a lot, but I said, you know, how are your hands? He said, you know, my hands are good. I said, well, where'd you really learn to catch the ball? He said, you know, I had some older cousins. We used to play in the yard, and I was the youngest one. He said, man, they were tough on me. They made me catch the ball, and I learned then as early as a kid to look the ball into my hands. And he did it on that last play.
So Tomlinson involved in the first 4 offensive plays for the Chargers. Flutie on 3rd and 6. What a catch. Extending across the 40 for the first down. Curtis Conway. And some extracurricular activities.
Yeah. Conway's going to get a flag.
With Tom Knight.
Conway will get the flag. I don't know what Tom Knight said, but I don't think that an official was close enough to hear it, and so they wouldn't call taunting. What a beautiful catch by Curtis Conway. Remember, we said Doug Flutie is going to need help in the passing game. That's the kind of help he needs. That is a beautiful effort by Curtis Conway.
And the flag was called on Conway.
Yeah. I think the good news for San Diego is the first down will count. The penalty will be assessed after the catch.
Personal foul, grasping and twisting the face mask on the offense. 15-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So this will force the Chargers back 15 yards. The officials still discussing the spot of the football.
And the problem wasn't the pushing and shoving. The problem is right there when Conway grabs Tommy Knight's face mask.
A gain of 9 yards.
That will pretty much guarantee that you will draw the flag.
Brings up 3rd and 12.
Tommy Knight has been out most of the season with an injury. Last week against the Detroit Lions, he returned, and you could tell that he's been out. He was a little rusty. I think he's a talented cornerback, but he was playing very soft last week in his coverages.
Missed 3 games with a hamstring injury. So following the penalty, 3rd down and 12. And Flutie operating out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Flutie's pass is incomplete, intended for Jeff Graham. So a huge penalty on the opening drive. Chargers were on the move. They would have had a first down on the Arizona 39, but instead they're forced to punt.
Well, Kenny, we talked about Doug Flutie not really being in sync, and you can see it on this play here because he's got some time and he's got a throwing lane, but this ball is thrown low and behind Jeff Graham. And the pass that Curtis Conway caught was also behind Curtis Conway, just Conway made a fantastic catch.
Darren Bennett punching from his own 35-yard line. Arnold Jackson lets it bounce, and it takes a Chargers roll inside the 7-yard line.
Number 21, forward.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
Kenny Albert, Tim Green back in San Diego. Early first quarter following the 47-yard punt and roll. The Cardinals pinned deep in their own territory. They will start from their own 7-yard line.
Cardinals' biggest concern offensively, do not let this aggressive defense get fired up with a big play.
Jake Plummer back to throw on first down. He's in trouble. He swings it out, and the pass is caught by Michael Pittman. Gains 3 yards out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Plummer in his 5th year out of Arizona State. 4 touchdown passes last week in the win over the Lions. Shelton, Kendall, Grudadoria, the rookie, Davis, and Anthony Clement up front. The backs and receivers. We will see momentarily. Michael Pittman is the running back. And Pittman out to the 13-yard line, a gain of 3. 2nd and 7. Pittman gains 3, setting up 3rd down and 4. Chargers ranked 11th defensively in the NFL. Johnson and Wiley, the ends, both with 8.5 sacks. Dixon, Rupp, and the perennial Pro Bowler, Junior Seau, the linebackers. An injury-depleted secondary. Perry and Cody starting in place of Alex Molden and Rodney Harrison. Cardinals spread the field. 4 wide receivers on 3rd down and 3. And a pass off the fingertips of Frank Sanders.
San Diego today defensively felt that their most important mission was to stop the passing game. And that was nice coverage right there on Frank Sanders. And in their preparation this week, I think before last week, if you looked at the Arizona Cardinals, you could say, listen, we have to just shut down David Boston and focus on him. After last week's game against Detroit, the Cardinals proved that they can spread the ball around. Now you have to cover their other receivers, Frank Sanders and Marte Jenkins.
Chad Stanley, good hang time. Glenn Milburn in his 2nd game as a Charger stumbles and then is brought down at the 44-yard line by Pat Tillman after a 6-yard return. Early first quarter, no score in San Diego.
Chargers had a bit of a drive going offensively, and then Curtis Conway was called for a face mask penalty, which foiled their drive. Because it was a face mask penalty and not a personal foul, the Chargers did not get a first down. Had it been a personal foul, that's a dead ball foul. Chargers would have had the benefit of Conway's catch, which gave them the first down and would have set them back. But because it was a face mask penalty, the Chargers have 0 points on the board.
Again, good field position for San Diego from the 44-yard line. Flutie fakes the reverse and then dumps it off to Tomlinson. Out to the 47-yard line, a gain of 3. Ray Thompson made the stop.
Yeah, well played by Ray Thompson, because the Chargers like to run this play. They like to run the screen. And what you have to do defensively is you have to split the blockers. So you're going to see Thompson out here in the flat. And when he sees the blockers, he gets up underneath them and makes that play.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 47-yard line. Flutie with the quick slap, caught for a first down by Jeff Graham down to the Cardinals 40. Tom Knight made the tackle after a gain of 13 yards.
And a well-thrown ball by Doug Flutie. We talked about Tommy Knight playing soft. He's a little soft on this, and Flutie goes right after him with a quick slant pass. Cardinals said last night that the most important thing for them was to keep Doug Flutie out of his rhythm. He's not had a rhythm in the last 3 games. They don't want to let him get started today.
From the Cardinals 41, Flutie to the air on first down, looking for Conway, and the pass floats out of bounds. Corey Chavis on the coverage.
Chargers did a nice job up front giving Doug Flutie protection. Arizona comes with 5. He's got all the time in the world, and again we see that the pass on this play is just off base. And Conway really, I think, has the inside position on Chavis, but you see the safety coming over, Kwame Lassiter, 42 there. That's what Doug Flutie saw, so he threw to the outside rather than the inside.
On 2nd and 10, Tomlinson passes it to the outside, and he was down before the fumble. Tomlinson down inside the 31-yard line, a gain of 11. And a Chargers first down.
LaDainian Tomlinson has everything. We saw him run effectively up the center of the field before, and on this play here, you get to see moves and speed. He takes it, he draws the defense, and now he cuts to the outside, and then you see that speed and the drive, and he falls on Jeff Graham's leg, and Jeff Graham is still down.
Graham checked out by the Chargers medical staff. San Diego on the move with no score. The 11-year veteran Jeff Graham shaken up.
Another wide receiver for the Chargers out. Tim Dwight already out of action, and Freddie Jones, the tight end, who figures highly in the passing game, is out.
Tomlinson, gain of 3 yards down to the 27. Doug Flutie compared it to the '99 season in Buffalo, when the Bills struggled without both Eric Moulds and tight end Jay Remersma.
That's right. We talked about Doug Flutie being under pressure in previous games. We talked about his receivers not getting good separation from the defensive backs. But we didn't talk about until now the absence of Tim Dwight, who's very effective as a third down receiver, and especially Freddie Jones, who is a tremendous receiving tight end.
Trevor Gaylor and Patrick patrol the game at wideout as Tomlinson is close to another first down, about a half-yard shy. A gain of 6 on the play. Ray Thompson made the stop.
Yeah, and with Gaylor in and Dwight out and now Jeff Graham out, we're going to even see more of LaDainian Tomlinson, and why not? I mean, it's working for the Chargers right now. Tomlinson is picking up steady yards against this Cardinals defense.
He's averaging nearly 6 yards per carry today. Third and short. Tomlinson picks up the first down to the 17-yard line of the Cardinals. Ronald McKinnon made the tackle.
Well, Tomlinson runs through McKinnon, but also Fred McCrary gets a nice lead block. Watch McCrary right here. He blocks out, and he just buries Tom Knight. And that gives Tomlinson a big space with which to run through.
Tomlinson gained over 100 yards on the ground in 3 of his first 4 games this season as a rookie, but has not reached that mark in the last 6. From the 17, Tomlinson stopped by the rookie out of Illinois, Fred Wakefield.
The one thing that you will get from this Cardinals defense is a tremendous amount of effort. I mean, Fred Wakefield was an undrafted free agent, but he's a smart guy who's studying to be a doctor, and he's a determined guy. And last week, he caught himself a touchdown pass late in the game. Kwame Lassiter came on a blitz and knocked the ball up in the air. Wakefield just held his hands out, caught it, ran it all the way into the end zone. These guys up front for the Cardinals will never stop coming at you.
2 rookies starting it in today for Arizona. Wakefield and Fahey. Flutie on second down, complete to Conway inside the 10, down to the 9. Tom Knight made the tackle after a gain of 8 yards.
This is the kind of separation that a receiver can give a quarterback to make his numbers look good. We talked about Doug Flutie not having the great numbers, but over the last 3 games, watch Conway here. He just sets right up in the zone. I mean, this is a very well executed play by Curtis Conway. He drives the coverage deep, he sets up, and makes it easy for Doug Flutie to complete this pass.
Last week against Oakland, Flutie did not complete a pass to a wide receiver until the 4th quarter. He has 3 so far today. Flutie saw something he did not like, forced to call timeout with just under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter from San Diego. 3rd down and 2 upcoming from the Cardinals 9 for the Chargers in a scoreless game.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. By UPS, the official delivery company of football fans everywhere. And by Autotrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
Back in San Diego, 3rd down and 2 upcoming for the Chargers from the 9-yard line. They need to get to the 7 for a first down. Tomlinson brought down by Kwame Lassiter, close to the marker. Looked like Tomlinson tried to reach across.
The ball popped out of there, but LaDainian Tomlinson, when he stretches out, of course, the ground cannot cause a fumble, and I think his knee was down. So it's really going to come down to where, where the ball is when his knee is down. It's a nice tackle by Kwame Lassiter.
Here come the chains.
You know, the Chargers offensively have been in the red zone more than any other team in the National Football League this season. You see that a lot of times they've been forced to kick field goals, as they will be on this one here.
Here comes the field goal unit. So for the 21st time in the red zone, the Chargers will attempt a field goal. In fact, Wade Ritchie has attempted more field goals, 27 in all, than any other kicker in the National Football League. So the Chargers just short. And with Bennett holding, Ritchie, the former San Francisco 49er, looks to give the Chargers the lead. A 26-yard attempt. Ritchie's kick is wide right. His 8th miss of the year. Ritchie just 20 of 28 on the season. We remain scoreless in San Diego. Back in San Diego, Wade Ritchie wide right from 26 yards out. So we remain scoreless. Ritchie chatting with his holder, Darren Bennett.
I think Ritchie just pushed that kick. I don't think there was anything wrong with the snap or the hold.
Now Jake Plummer and the Cardinals back to work from his own 20. Pass incomplete, intended for the fullback Joel Makovic, as we check in with James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Kenny, New England striking first. Take a look at the over pursuit of the defense to the offensive right. The swing throwback. Antoine Smith, 41 yards to pay dirt. The Patriots have won 5 of 8 with Brady at the helm. They're on top, 7-0. Back to Kenny and Tim Green.
Tell Terry Bradshaw he's right about that chemistry. I mean, keeping Brady in there was the right thing for the Patriots to do. We're listening to him, JB. We're listening to Terry.
Michael Pittman forced back on second down by Orlando Rupp. Jimmy Kimmel picking on JB a little bit this morning.
Yeah, that was the first time I've seen Jimmy Kimmel do that. It didn't go over well. You don't pick on JB.
But it did not seem to faze JB at all.
No, he's
cool under pressure.
Unflappable, absolutely. And Jake Plummer needs to be unflappable on this play because it's a known passing situation, and the Chargers have an excellent pass rush.
4 wide receivers set. Plummer on 3rd and 10. Off the fingertips of Pittman, picked off by Gerald Dixon. First interception of the year for Dixon.
Jake Plummer under pressure by that Chargers front 4. He feels the pressure. The pocket starts to constrict. And instead of running it, he tries to dump the ball to Pittman. But this is not Jake Plummer's fault. Pittman should have caught that ball and had a small gain. But instead, he dishes it up for Dixon. See, but that's one where, you know, Jake Plummer used to run that ball in that situation and pick up a lot of yards. And I think part of his re-education as a quarterback took that part of his game away from him.
So a huge opportunity for the Chargers from the Cardinals' 16-yard line. Penalty markers on first down.
That's going to be on Damian McIntosh for a false start.
Prior to the snap, false start, 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
McIntosh, the left tackle. Second Chargers penalty.
Well, this is an offensive line that people didn't expect a lot from this season, and then they started out for the first several games, and LaDainian Tomlinson had several 100-yard rushing games. And I think the expectations were raised, and I think they may have flattened off a little bit, but today they're running the ball well again.
Flutie to the fullback, Fred McCrary, a gain of only 2 yards down to the Cardinals 19. Ray Thompson made the tackle.
Well, Kenny, we're being told that Jeff Graham, the Chargers wide receiver, has a thigh bruise, and it is questionable whether or not he will return. And you know, when you talk about, there he is keeping it warm, trying to loosen it up on the bike. And just for everyone to know, when you hear probable, that means you got a 75% chance of playing or returning. When it's questionable, it's 50-50. When it's doubtful, it's 25% that you will, 75% that you won't.
And 3 wideouts in on 2nd and 13. Flutie to Tomlinson. Down to the Arizona 14-yard line. Thompson and McKinnon with the tackle, a gain of 5 as we check in once again with JB.
Kenny, with 8:16 left in the game, Miami trailed 27-17 to Buffalo, but battled back and won it on this play. Look at that pass from Taylor to Chris Chambers, the rookie. They win it 34-27. Back to Kenny Albert. And Tim, we know you always listen, buddy.
Hey, man, you guys are the best. It's fun to listen to. We'll even talk about cutting horses later on in the broadcast here.
And a big comeback by the Miami Dolphins. Flutie Tomlinson again on 3rd and 8, and he is stopped short. Fans were not happy, Tim, that the Chargers did not go for it the last time. They want Mike Riley to go for it again, but he will not as he sends out the field goal unit.
LaDainian Tomlinson wants to go for it as well. And we talked about Tomlinson's hands. Watch him. He just runs a little angle route. He comes out and he breaks in. Watch him catch. He does a nice job. Nice soft hands. But Ronald McKinnon does a nice job of tackling Tomlinson and preventing the first down. So good tackling by the Cardinals defenders, and that one just went through.
26-yard field goal, and it just made it. So Richie now 1 for 2. Chargers with a 3-0 lead.
Chargers actually have this field goal blocked by the Cardinals, but it still goes through. So after the interception off the tip pass by Michael Pittman, the Chargers are able to pick up 3 points, but Cardinals defense prevents a touchdown.
Chargers have the ball on the Arizona 16 following the interception, but could muster only 3. Marte Jenkins back deep for the Cardinals. Richie's kickoff is taken at the 9-yard line by Jenkins. Brings it out to the 30, a 21-yard return. Robert Carswell with the special teams tackle.
And I think now what Arizona needs to do offensively is have Jake Plummer get the ball out to his wide receivers. Plummer is only 1 for 4 right now, and the only guy to catch a ball is Michael Pittman. And when you've got David Boston there and Frank Sanders, and you have a Chargers secondary that, as we said from the beginning, has some young guys, some inexperienced guys out there, you need to press them. You need to push the ball downfield.
Cardinals with 3 wide receivers, including Sanders, on first down along with Jenkins and Boston. Quick throw, and the pass is caught out at the 37-yard line by David Boston for a gain of 8. Tay Cody coming up to make the tackle. Well, Fox tonight, for the first time on television, it's Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, at 7 p.m. Following the premiere, don't miss the sneak peek at the StarWars.com documentary, R2-D2 Beneath the Dome. It's all coming at you tonight at 7, only on Fox.
Now, did you see it in the theaters, Phantom Menace?
No.
Your daughter's a little young for it, but I got to see it several times.
Michael Pittman picks up the first down after the 41-yard line, but I did see R2-D2 on the pregame show with Jimmy Kimmel.
I did too. Hey, Cardinals, I think, did what they needed to do. They came out, they put the ball in David Boston's hands. Now they're getting the Chargers thinking about, hey, we've got to defend these wide receivers. They come right back with the run with Michael Pittman. The Cardinals need to throw the ball to open up the run. It's the exact opposite of what most offenses do.
Pittman bottled up on the final play of the first quarter. The middle linebacker, Orlando Ruff, made the stop. 15 minutes in the books from San Diego. Chargers with a 3-0 lead over the Cardinals will return after these messages from your local Fox station.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Chargers leading the Cardinals 3-0 as we welcome you back, Kenny Albert, along with Tim Green. The story of that first quarter for the Chargers, missed opportunities.
Yeah, because they're able to run the ball and they're able to throw the ball. Flutie is 8 for 10 of 40 for about 47 yards. So they've had success moving it, but they're just not able to punch it into the end zone. And I think you have to credit the Cardinals defense because they're a tenacious bunch. As we said, they've had a mixed lineup all season long. And I think offensively for the Cardinals, they need to continue what they started, which is throwing the ball to David Boston, get that ball to the wide receivers, and attack a young secondary for the Chargers.
Second down and 11. Plummer to Boston. First down and more. Down to the Chargers' 44-yard line. Jason Perry made the tackle after a gain of 15 yards.
Here, David Boston is working on Tay Cody, who's a rookie. And we talked about that inexperience. And you see him, he just drives Cody upfield, and he breaks right towards the center of the field where you've got Jason Perry, the free safety there, 31, who's another inexperienced player. So that's a matchup that the Cardinals are going to want to continue to exploit.
From the Chargers 45, play action, Plummer in trouble, and he's taken down. Junior Seau with his second sack of the season.
And that's the kind of fuel the Cardinals did not want to put on this aggressive defensive fire that is supercharged by Junior Seau. Steve Bush, the tight end, is trying to block Seau, and it just isn't going to happen. And look what happens downfield. You know, David Boston's got the seam on Ryan McNeil. If only Seau isn't all over Jake Plummer.
Three wide receivers in for the Cardinals. Second down and 17. Plummer with time. Pass again deflects off Pittman, the intended receiver.
Yeah, it's time to throw it to the wideouts. I mean, it's working, and now they're going back to Pittman, and he really cost San Diego. He cost Arizona the only points of the game when he had another pass go through his hands, and it was intercepted by Gerald Dixon. So if a guy's having an off day, and Pittman is, because that ball was thrown right to him, then I think you just stop throwing it to him.
Pittman returning home, grew up here in San Diego, attended Mira Mesa High School.
Comes the blitz.
3rd and 17. Plummer was under pressure, and the pass is nearly picked off by Tay Cody, intended for Marte Jenkins.
And Leonardo Carson does an excellent job of rushing the passer. Now, it's a blitz, but it's a zone blitz. So you're going to see Ray Lee Johnson drop off. The linebackers come. Watch Carson right there working around Russell Davis. And then the ball is dangerously underthrown by Jake Plummer.
Plummer just 3 of 8, 25 yards. Glenn Milburn awaiting Chad Stanley's punt. Stanley from his own 38. Fair catch, called for, it deflects off Milburn, and then he pounces on it at the 25-yard line. 3-0 Chargers, early second quarter.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, eating good in the neighborhood, Applebee's. By Citizen Eco Drive, a revolutionary watch that never needs a battery. And by Gateway, where you've got a friend in business.
Chargers back on offense. Doug Flutie lost a bet last night.
Yeah, he's 2 hats lighter because BC lost to Syracuse University, my alma mater, 39-28 last night. Of course, I used to play against Doug Flutie. We were both in college together, but 2 signed hats by Doug Flutie for my 2 boys as a result of Syracuse's victory. Would have cost me a couple milkshakes had BC won.
A big victory for the Orange men, and Tim Green with a couple of Doug Flutie signed hats as Tomlinson gains 2 yards on first down. Well, next week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Beginning with the pregame show, then Charlie Batch and the Lions take on Brian Urlacher and the Bears. And some of you will see Jake Plummer and these Cardinals as they take on Rich Gannon and the first place Raiders. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox.
You talk about rookie runners and LaDainian Tomlinson. The Bears have got a tremendous runner, a rookie runner.
The A-Train.
Thomas, the A-Train, who's phenomenal and a lot of fun to watch.
Flutie on second down, hits Tomlinson. And LaDainian is forced out of bounds at the 31-yard line by Zach Walls.
That is the 5th catch for LaDainian Tomlinson. He's replaced. Normally, Terrell Fletcher is the guy who's catching these passes out of the backfield, but Tomlinson, you know, he told us last night, he said he's got the hands, and he has proven it. He's caught everything that's been thrown to him, and he's done a nice job. He's becoming a part of this balanced attack for the Chargers that has enabled them to move up and down the field, but not put it into the end zone yet.
And Fletcher bothered by an ankle injury today. Play action on 3rd and 4. Flutie to Jeff Graham back in the game. First down in Cardinals territory at the Arizona 48, a gain of 20 yards.
This is a nice play by the San Diego Chargers, a nicely designed play, because what happens, Curtis Conway goes deep, and so he draws the safeties so that Jeff Graham only has Corey Chavis to contend with. So he breaks across the center, and there you see Adrian Wilson, the safety, coming in late. He was drawn back into the backfield because of the speed of Curtis Conway.
Graham had only 1 catch the last 2 weeks. He has 2 for 35 yards in the first half today.
How about Flutie's efficiency? 10 for 12 so far.
And for the 6th time, Flutie's pass is caught by Tomlinson.
You see Tomlinson? I love that. He kind of like laid it up like, all right, I'm just going to come out of bounds, and pow! You know, he hits Kwame Lassiter, and he shows what he's made of. I mean, what a wonderful kid, too. I mean, you love talking to him. He's the kind of, you know, he signs his contract, he buys his mom a car and a house, and out here, he's just playing tough football. See it? He makes it like, all right, I'm just going to go out, and then bam, blast Kwame Lassiter for another yard.
And then his mom immediately went out and purchased a Chargers sticker for that car.
That's right.
Tomlinson still on his feet down to the 36-yard line. Picks up the first down, gains 4 yards.
Well, if nothing else, the Chargers have got to be wearing down this Cardinals defense with the time of possession. Chargers almost at 14 minutes on the clock as compared to Arizona's 5 minutes. There you see it right there. And if they continue to do that, what you do through the game is the running game, which is working well, just gets better and better.
And Tomlinson already with 17 touches, 11 carries, 6 receptions. Flutie looking for Graham. Off his fingertips, and then he lost his helmet. Boy, Graham's had a rough first half.
Yeah, he has. This is a nicely read play by Doug Flutie. He reads the defense. He sees that he's got a deep safety in the middle of the field, and he knows that Graham is one-on-one with Chavis. He breaks to the inside. You see that he gets hammered. There's Pat Tillman. There's the free safety. Wham.
You know, in talking to Dave McGinnis yesterday when he was with the Bears, Flutie was in Chicago, Graham, Curtis Conway. They all played for the Bears during Dave McGinnis' tenure there as linebackers coach. And LaDainian Tomlinson, the carries once again, is from McGinnis' alma mater, Texas Christian. They were both Horned Frogs.
Horned Frogs. And I think everyone is proud of LaDainian Tomlinson, who's got a little bit of a limp there. Not only the way the guy plays football, but the kind of person he is. It was interesting. He's engaged and talked to him yesterday, and he said, I asked him where he was going to go on his honeymoon, and he said he didn't know. I said, make sure you spend some money on that. That's one you don't want to skimp on. He said, I'm worried about. I don't want to spend too much money. I'm very careful. I don't want to be one of those guys that ends up with nothing when the game is over.
Flutie takes off, picks up the first down. Down to the Cardinals' 22-yard line, a gain of 12.
You said right at the beginning, two of the most exciting quarterbacks in the game of football, and here's why. Nice decision by Doug Flutie. Watch him. He sees everyone's covered. He gives a little pump fake at the line of scrimmage just to keep the defenders back off of him, and then he uses his great speed to accelerate upfield to pick up a first down.
From the Cardinals' 22-yard line, Tomlinson looked to spin it back inside. Brought down by Ray Thompson after a gain of 3.
He did spin it back inside. I mean, he spun it back inside, but there were so many Cardinals defenders there. He had very little space in which to move. Watch it here. Nice job at the point of attack by Fred Wakefield. He really blows this play up, and there's the spin by LaDainian Tomlinson. And then Ray Thompson, the guy who makes the tackle. Cardinals are crowding the line of scrimmage to shut Tomlinson down, and they're challenging the Chargers to throw this football.
Flutie throws, and the pass is caught inside the 14-yard line by Trevor Gaylor. His first catch of the day, and only his second catch this season. Ronald McKinnon brought him down.
That's what they're going to have to do, because if a defense is going to come and they're going to play 8 guys up, they're going to bring the safeties up and crowd the line of scrimmage to shut down your run game, then you have to go to the passing game. And it's a cat and mouse game. It's back and forth, and I think the Chargers did a good job of drawing the defense up, running LaDainian Tomlinson, and now they're going to have to go back to the pass to stretch that defense out.
Another 3rd and short in the red zone. Flutie complete. Jeff Graham, first down. So for the 3rd time in this first half, the Chargers found themselves in a 3rd and short situation in the red zone, and for the first time they make it.
And Doug Flutie is finding himself in a rhythm. 13 for 16 now. This is a well-thrown pass. It's a little quarter roll, and you see that Jeff Graham is pretty much wide open. Tillman closes on him, but not soon enough.
3rd catch for Graham, giving the Chargers a 1st and 10 at the Arizona 11. Tomlinson cut down by Zach Walls. No gain on the play.
Brought down by Ray Thompson.
That's been one of the problems with the running game that the Chargers have had, have been these negative or no gain plays in the run. I think it happens when the offensive line allows defensive penetration. They've let some guys sometimes, they slide up into those gaps. I think that's what happened to them, especially in Oakland. The run game was clamped down because the Raiders' defensive line were able to get penetration into the backfield.
Trevor Gaylor in motion, 2nd and 10. Flutie looking, dumps it off. Tomlinson down to the 8-yard line for a gain of 3. Taken down by McKinnon. So the Chargers now face a 3rd down and 7.
Well, excellent protection on this play, and I think Doug Flutie may be a little upset with himself because he had plenty of time. And he goes to the little dump off here, and it really didn't give the Chargers much. I mean, they need a big play. They need to punch it into the end zone here. And now he put himself in a known passing situation. I think he wanted to throw to the end zone on that last play.
Loading back on 3rd and 8, looking end zone. Instead, swings it out, and it deflects off the hand of Tomlinson.
Well, Fred Wakefield again, you know, it took him some time to get there, but ultimately it was Wakefield's determination that causes Doug Flutie to just kind of dump this pass off. Again, you saw he wanted to go to the end zone, but he couldn't because Fred Wakefield was right there in his face.
3 trips to the red zone for the Chargers, 3 field goal attempts. This a 27-yard attempt.
Missed it. Terrible.
Ritchie is now 1 for 3. And the one he hit just barely made it after it was tipped. Ritchie has now missed 9 of 30 this season.
Another missed kick by the San Diego Chargers. Their offense continues to move effectively down the field, frustrated in the red zone, where they failed on a couple third down conversions, and Wade Ritchie, you see the ball was set up for him pretty well, just squids it. He is struggling right now mightily.
Ritchie signed a 5-year free agent contract to replace John Carney, and has missed 9 this year. Thomas Jones, a gain of 5 as we check in with James Brown.
Hey, Kenny, New England capitalized on a pass interference call on Greg Thomas of the Saints. Take a look at his play action. Worked beautifully. Brady then hooks up with Troy Brown, 8 yards. Second touchdown pass is made by Brady, and it's now 13-0. That's because 2-point conversion was no good. Back to Kenny Albert, Tim Green.
All right, thanks, JB. The Dolphins, by virtue of their victory earlier, now tied with the Jets, who have a bye this week. Thomas Jones, second consecutive carry, looks to turn the corner, could not. No gain on the play.
And Ryan McNeil is the guy that keeps it to no gain, because he's out there battling against David Boston. We talked about David Boston's tremendous strength. I mean, he's a guy who added 20 pounds in the offseason. So Ryan McNeil is out there, and he's got his hands cut out for him, because Boston is the guy who's blocking him, and that means you're getting hammered. And I think Ryan McNeil is a good match, because McNeil is a very physical cornerback, also a smart guy.
A wily veteran. Third down and 6. 3 wide receivers. Plummer's pass is caught by Martain Jenkins. Nice catch. He came back to make the catch for a Cardinals first down.
And Jake Plummer now seeing the field and spreading the ball around. He's reading the whole defense. Martain Jenkins does an excellent job of separating himself from the coverage. You see Tay Cody, the rookie there, who's got the coverage on him. Jenkins did an excellent job.
15-yard pass play.
Again, throwing to the wide receivers is what the Cardinals must do.
Plummer to David Boston into Chargers territory for the San Diego 42.
They're giving it to him, and the Cardinals just have to keep taking it. Just keep taking it until they're able to jam David Boston on the line of scrimmage. This is what he's going to do. He's too big and too fast to slow down unless you get a guy right up in his face and knock him around, and then have someone backing you up deep.
19 yards from Plummer to Boston. First and 10, 42-yard line. Plummer to the air once again. And the pass is caught at the 37-yard line by the fullback, Joel Makovicka, for a gain of 5.
And they go to Makovicka, Kenny, because this time Ryan McNeil does just what we talked about. He gets the jam on David Boston. Watch McNeil. He moves up here, and there it is. He just jams him, and that's all it takes, because now the rhythm is off, and then the safety is deep. See the safety right there? So a nicely defended play, and that forces Plummer to throw underneath to the fullback.
Plummer's completed his last 3 pass attempts. This time, Cardinals keep it on the ground. Jones tries to turn the corner once again, but he's run down by Jason Perry.
Yeah, Perry did a nice job tackling. Junior Seau was the guy that really frustrated that play.
And the flag against the Chargers.
Seau got into a battle with Steve Bush.
Offside, 55, defense, 5 yards, still second down.
Seau came up, and he saw Steve Bush, the tight end. Here's Bush. And Bush is going to block him, and Seau sees it coming, and he just gets a jump. So look how he works Bush there, and he forces the ball to the outside. And that's where Jason Perry is able to make the tackle. You know, Junior Seau is quick enough so he can play two gaps at the same time. He can play the inside of the blocker. He can play the outside of the blocker.
Not many guys can do that.
No.
Penalty markers once again on first down.
And on Thomas Jones, penalty flags.
The officials continue to conference. Walt Coleman, our referee today.
Prior to the snap, false start, 34, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the fullback, Joel Makovica.
Yeah, Makovica was drawn by the movement of this aggressive Chargers defense, and Junior Seau's the guy right in the center of it. There's the adjustment. They show the blitz. And Makovica jumps. You know, you see all that motion in front of you, and then your quarterback gives the hard count, and it's hard. It's hard. You have to be incredibly disciplined not to jump.
And at the first Cardinals penalty today, with 2.5 remaining, second quarter. Chargers leading 3-0. First and 15 from the 37. Plummer pump fakes, airing it out, looking for Boston. He makes the catch for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Arizona.
How good is David Boston? They had him double covered on that play, and he still beats the defense.
Fifth touchdown reception of the season for David Boston, and with that catch he also goes over the 1,000-yard mark for the second consecutive season.
And they might as well keep throwing to David Boston, because as of right now he is unstoppable.
Bill Gramatica adds the extra point. David Boston on the 36-yard reception gives the Cardinals their first lead of the day.
Here's David Boston. Here's one defender. Here's two. They are both assigned to him. One underneath, one over the top. He runs past the underneath. He runs past the over the top. Jason Perry comes over, and you're going to see here, and he just takes a poor angle, and it's like bumping off of a brick wall. David Boston is not affected at all. Perry bounces off him, and Boston catches the touchdown.
The short kickoff brought back by the tight end, Josh Whitman. So the Cardinals keep it away from Ronnie Jenkins. A 9-yard return as we hit the 2-minute warning in San Diego. David Boston and the Cardinals with the 7-3 lead.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the New York Stock Exchange. The world puts its stock in us.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the National Football League, and the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second stats.
And you heard Terry Bradshaw on the pregame show talking about a cutting horse, how it goes into a crowd and picks out just the right steer, and he talked about Bill Walsh. I think John Butler, the GM for the Chargers, is a pretty good cutting horse, because he went into the crowd of college players, and he picked out LaDainian Tomlinson. And I think this guy here is a special player.
Flutie on first down, incomplete, intended for Trevor Gaylor.
Flutie has been sharp all day, but when he's been off, he's been off. And talk about the halftime show, we're going to see some of these highlights, and you'll get to see Garrison Hurst, and we saw the great piece that JB did on him and Bryant Young, and he had a big day today. And then we've talked about David Boston. I mean, look at Terrell Owens. I mean, Owens is another guy in the National Football League who is a lot of fun to watch. He's got another touchdown today. That gives him 12 on the season.
Flutie on 2nd and 10. Incomplete, and sent it to the tight end, Steve Hyden.
And you can see that Doug Flutie is out of his rhythm. He's been in his rhythm most of the game. He's completed at a very high percentage. You see it there. That would work out to 70%. How'd you like that quick math?
Very quick.
70, that's new math.
Although he is 0 for his last 3.
Which is 0%. Now tell me the quarterback rating.
I don't think even Doug can figure that out.
You need a BCS computer for that.
3rd and 10. Flutie out of the shotgun. Looking for Jeff Graham, but it pops away.
Ronaldo Hill defending.
Well, that pass was thrown inside Jeff Graham, but that's a catchable ball. And we've seen Jeff Graham miss a couple of these passes today. And here's Graham right here. He's open. Now the ball's thrown back to the inside. But again, that's one that he needs to catch. That's where Doug Flutie needs the guys around him to help him get back into his rhythm.
So Flutie now 0 for his last 4. Bennett. Good kick, forcing Arnold Jackson all the way back to his 10-yard line. Not much on the return, only a 6-yard return. Dion Humphrey down the field to make the stop. A 56-yard punt by Bennett. Late first half from San Diego. Kenny Albert with Tim Green. Cardinals leading 7-3. And they will start from their own 17-yard line.
Yeah, they've had poor field position all game long.
Their average drive start their own 16 for the Chargers, their own 44-yard line. Trouble in trouble, Marcellus Wiley. 9.5 sacks this season for the former Buffalo Bill.
You know, and Marcellus Wiley has had a lot of sacks this season. None is going to be easier than this one. Watch him here. He comes, and nobody blocks him. I mean, that's just a protection error. And Jake Plummer is absolutely hammered. Wiley comes, blindsides him, and just crushes Jake. Now, I will say this about Jake. Last week, the Lions hammered him, and I thought he did a good job responding. It kind of, sometimes with Jake, it'll get him fired up, it gets him mad, and he can play well.
Second sack today for the Chargers. Seo have the other. Well, Fox Tuesday, catch Kiefer Sutherland in a new episode of 24 at 9 p.m. right here on Fox. And if you missed the 3rd hour of 24, you can catch it tomorrow night on FX. So be sure to check your local cable listings.
And they do a recap at the beginning of the show to catch you up, and the whole show is about Kiefer Sutherland, and he's got one day to basically save the world. And it is exciting. I mean, it's a great show.
Jake Plummer with 1 minute 23 seconds remaining. First half, Michael Pittman down to the 14-yard line. John Perella tripped him up. Chargers call their final timeout. They stop the clock with 1:13 to go. We'll be right back. Well, the Chargers hope to get the ball back, so they have used their final 2 timeouts. And their defense will look to hold on 3rd down and 14.
This is a play where Jake Plummer needs to be judicious. He doesn't want to do anything foolish and turn this football over.
Cardinals play it safe. And will punt as Michael Pittman is stopped at the original line of scrimmage. So Chad Stanley will come out to punt to Glenn Milburn. Cardinals will let the clock wind down.
Glenn Milburn is one of those return guys that can really hurt you. I mean, I think trying to run the ball in a dive and 3rd down and long against a lot of teams is okay, you know, to go the conservative route. But I think when you have to kick to a guy like Glenn Milburn, you may look back to regret not trying to pick up the first down.
Now the Cardinals call timeout, stop the clock with 28 seconds remaining. Milburn was released by the Bears a couple of weeks ago. Made his Chargers debut last week against the Oakland Raiders. Cardinals released their punt returner. Backup wide receiver Reggie Jones brought in Milburn.
He's not done a heck of a lot here so far, but the Chargers special teams have done a really good job. So it's not just Glenn Milburn, it's the whole return team. Of course, they have the #1 kick return game in the National Football League.
And they lead the NFL in average drive start. And you saw today they've started on average at their own 44. Milburn in Chicago's territory. Penalty marker down. David Barrett of the Cardinals lost his helmet.
He just kept playing.
Still went after Milburn.
Yeah, he did.
Despite losing that helmet.
That's dangerous. Remember when Thomas Burke did that a couple years ago?
Yep.
The defensive lineman for the Cardinals?
Remember that look on Burke's face when he was going in to make the tackle without his helmet?
Crazed.
45 yards on the clock.
There's I think that may be against Davis Sanchez, who's the guy blocking Barrett.
Holding, 34, return team during the kick. 10 yards from the end of the kick, first down.
Well, there is no 34, so we assume Walt Coleman meant 33, Sanchez.
And here it is right here. And there's the hold, and then you see him not only grab his pads, but he grabs the helmet. And David Barrett, I mean, you almost wonder if he even realizes that he lost his helmet.
Well, I think he realized it.
Yeah, if that thing comes off, I guess you know it. It's a lot cooler out there when that helmet comes off.
Barrett, a second-year defensive back out of Arkansas, looking to make an impression with his head coach, Dave McGinnis.
And another great scoring opportunity for the San Diego Chargers is foiled by the penalty.
So instead of starting in Cardinals territory with 14 seconds to go, the line of scrimmage, their own 27. That's been the story of the first half for the Chargers. Missed opportunities. And they trail 7-3. No timeouts for San Diego. Flutie from the shotgun. Everybody out. Here's Graham, gets out of bounds with 9 seconds to go. Graham's 4th catch of the first half. Once again, coming up, the Visa halftime report with James Brown, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, and Chris Collinsworth. They'll get you up to date on scores and highlights. And the Fox Sports ticker will bring you up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. They were joined earlier by injured quarterback Steve Burline on the pregame show. Tomlinson. Penalty marker down as the clock stops with 3 seconds remaining. 13-yard pickup for Tomlinson. It's against the Cardinals.
Offside, 54 defense, penalties decline. First down.
17 years ago, this past Friday, the anniversary of the Doug Flutie
game, right? I was thinking the same thing, because I'm thinking, they're going to line up and go for a Hail Mary.
It was 17 years ago this Friday, November 23rd, 1984, Flutie to Gerard Phelan.
That'll ruin Doug's statistics, right? His wife said, hey, how can you throw those things? He's like, hey, I want to win. The only statistic I care about is winning. I don't care about my quarterback rating. And he scrambled in the BC game.
Here it goes, 17 years later. And this one is incomplete. It did not reach the end zone. Think Doug was thinking about that game?
I think so.
17 years and 2 days later. First half comes to an end here in San Diego. Cardinals 7, Chargers 3.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
And welcome to the Visa Halftime. Those of you watching Arizona and San Diego, Jeff Plummer now make that Jake Plummer with his 13th touchdown pass this year. That matches his total for last year.
The Bradys are looking awfully good in this game. Tom Brady rolls right, throwback screen to Antoine Smith, and the rest is a beautiful setup play. An aggressive defense coming from the blind side. This is a great play, 41-yard touchdown, and the Patriots up 7-0. Now, Brady, play action, pulls a corner up, beautiful play action, 8-yard shot to Troy Brown. Conversion fell 13-0, New England. Now Charles Johnson, Brady back, rolls right again, sets up, and then guns it, baby. Charles Johnson right there on the 1-yard line, bounces in. 20-0, New England right now taking care of the visiting Saints. Not a very good day in New Orleans.
And Oakland is taking care of the Giants. Tim Brown's 5 TD catches in the last 4 games. A big help today as well. And the NFL's second-ranked defense shutting down the Jaguars.
Peyton Manning fractured jaw and all, trying to get these Colts off and running against the high-powered 49ers. Manning back, moving a little bit out of the pocket, fires this baby deep down the middle, does not see Zach Bronson sitting there waiting on him, says, thanks for the gift. Christmas comes early. Now I'll show you my speed. 48 yards later, beautiful piece of running. It's 27-21 49ers. And then Garrison Hurst picks it up inside, bounces to the outside. Beautiful special on the pregame show. As you saw it, this man really has earned his money. 40-21 49ers all over the Colts.
106 yards on the ground by Hurst.
Atlanta looking to go 4-1 on the road. Bob Christian takes his pitch, goes 4 yards, 10-7 Atlanta over Carolina. Atlanta, the surprising Falcons now at 6-4. They win 10-7.
Having won 3 straight now.
You are just too good. LeVar Arrington, awfully upset. Awfully. Bruce Smith, though, settling down. Don't worry about it. Be all right. I'll take care of this. Kajana Carter says, Stephen Davis got back spasm. Give me the ball, coach. He does. Quick tackle, up the middle, 5-yard touchdown. Kajana Carter runs over, hugs his mom. 13-3, though, as the Redskins are getting a lot of love now, as they have now won 5 in a row after going 0-5. Now, Van Pelt back. Moles is deep. Great one-handed grab. 54-yard touchdown. This is the ball game, 21-10. Buffalo then following up a Miami field goal. Nate Clements fumbles. Patrick Surtain scoops it up for Miami to score. It's 27-all. And then 3 plays later, Jay Fiedler nails this one to Chris Chambers. 32-yard field goal. I see you writing it down, Howie. That's right. I always have a hard time with Jay's name. 34-27. Only what matters is Miami won, and we're happy, very happy. Mike Cloud takes it up the middle, 15-yard touchdown. Kansas City now has won 3 games on the season, 19-7 over the Seahawks. Cordell Stewart, can he do it? Bet you can. Having a great year. Avoids the rush. Titans can't grab him. Turns on the speed. Wow, you know what that reminds me of?
You.
Me. There you go. 48-yard touchdown. Just cracked myself up. 34-24, Steelers looking good. Whew, I'm happy. All right, Tim Couch. How good are you, young'un? Man, that's an ugly pass, but Kevin Johnson is there. He's good. It's all right, take it. You bet, baby. You bet you got it. 18-0. Bengals, Chris, I'm sorry. Browns looking good.
Arizona, I know you've been a little kind of hot and cold as far as Plummer is concerned today.
Well, no, he has not been hot and cold. He can't stand Jake the Snake. I defend Jake the Snake. Go ahead now.
Defend everybody. Big deal. What's unique about that? But the one guy I do like on this team is David Boston. Here's a guy that is looking like Terrell Owens to me for about the 4th, 5th straight week in a row. This has been a one-man offense between Jake and David Boston. He's getting it done. Nice job by that young defense.
Yeah, I agree. This guy looks like a linebacker playing wide receiver, much in the mold of Terrell Owens. The big play for Arizona is the difference right now. San Diego controlling the clock for over 20 minutes in the first half, converting 4 of 9 on 3rd down. Just a matter of punching it in for them.
Hey, now you've got JB and TB down there with 1 mark apiece.
I know,
what did I do?
That. He started it off bad.
Oh, so he's using invisible ink for his.
It was a grammatical problem.
Out of ink, that's the problem.
Right after this. He said I started off bad.
What?
Visa is proud to celebrate the fans this season. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.